Good morning, it's Kyle Coberline, a truck and RV sales professional at Bluegrass International Trucks, Buses, RVs, and Ideal Lease. It's an early one down here in Florida, so I apologize if I stumble on my words a little bit, but I'm at Disney's Fort Wilderness Campground, so I'm going to do a tour on my one wheel through the campground and talk about some of the amenities. And like always, feel free to reach out to me if you have any questions. And I've been here about almost a couple weeks. I leave on Sunday. Today's Thursday, which is actually my anniversary. I'm letting my wife sleep in this morning. But we'll go through the campground and I'll kind of talk about what you can expect, and we'll go from there. So we're taking a look here at the campground map that you give you, and we'll do just kind of a quick overall description of kind of how they've got the campground laid out. So down here at the bottom, you've got the check-in area. You know, the first thing you come through off the main road is a security station. So it's not a check-in, you have to confirm your name, and they let you through security to get into the actual campground, and then you go into the actual check-in to get your site number and everything. And then when you immediately come in on your left, as you enter the campground, you've got your cabin area, which is going to be your most expensive, but you don't have to bring your camper or your RV or your motorhome. I mean, you have a full, more or less a home in the wilderness. And then of course from there, your next level of site, we'll start at the bottom. So at the bottom, you've got your tent and pop-up sites, which have water and electric. So you've got tent and water, tent and water, and tent and pop-up. Now you can only have a tent or a pop-up. They won't let you take a motorhome or a hard shell camper into those areas. And then in the center of the park, you've got your premium sites. Now you've got kind of the premium sites that are closer to the front of the park, where you come in the entrance, and then you've got the premium sites closer to the rear. And then the next level site, it's up in grade, is you've got premium meadows. So the meadows is where you've got your biggest pool that's got the water slide, your largest trading post. The sites in the premium meadows, they're larger sites. Everything is paved. You have full hookup. So it's just most of the site location is more about kind of what you have close to you versus the site itself. So location is more important. I'm actually in the back in the preferred sites, which are really nice. Some of the preferred sites are a little bit smaller, but we are closer to the beach and the boat to Magic Kingdom, and where you pick up bus transportation to Magic Kingdom. And I'll note this again later, but in the back of the park near the settlement is where you pick up your buses for Magic Kingdom, which is the only bus you pick up back there, or the boat to Magic Kingdom. And in the front of the park where the outpost is, up here, that's where you catch all your major buses to all the other places, Epcot, Animal Kingdom, Hollywood Studios, Typhoon Lagoon, Disney Springs, and some of the other resorts. But I'm going to ride through the whole campground, but I just wanted to show the map because that makes it easy for people to kind of understand, what they're booking when they book their site. So you can see the main road out there, and that is that security shack that I was talking about. When you come through, they verify your name and that you have a reservation before they let you in the park. And anytime you leave or come back in via your own car, you've got to go through that security checkpoint. So you'll pull straight through the security checkpoint, and they've got these the one lane's got a bunch of golf carts in it, but they've got these 5 lanes, and of course they're lit up green and red depending on which ones are open. And then of course you tell them your name and everything, and then they get you checked in. They were super helpful, answered all the questions that we had. We came in a little early. We were here about 9 o'clock the day we checked in. Technically check in, I believe, is at 3, but they had us in the site by 11 o'clock. So yeah, you'll pull through and somebody will walk out and they'll talk to you. So here's what, we came through and we checked in. We went and of course parked our car in the overflow, our RV or motorhome in the overflow parking lot with our tow car. And then we were able to walk over, and so right over here is like the lobby. And then right between where you check in, where you pull through with your motorhome or RV, you've got a little kiosk over here. And that is where you check in to get your golf cart if you've reserved a golf cart. It's possible to get a first come, first serve golf cart, but it's highly recommended to get a reservation if you're going to get a golf cart. This park is massive. So, you know, I'm glad we got a golf cart and reserved one in advance, just because I mean, from my campsite to the front of the park is at least, I'd say it's 2 miles or better. It's a good little trek over to the pool. I mean, this is a massive campground for sure. Now, if we didn't have our 3-year-old, it was just like me and my wife, and because we have a stroller and backpacks and a little cooler and, you know, the whole parent life thing, we could probably get away with, like, because we're pretty active, taking our bicycles and just biking around the park and going to the pool and those kinds of things. But with a family and just, you know, it's hot too, so it's nice just to be able to jump on a golf cart and just run wherever you want on the campground, and we'll go from there. You can see they've got all their golf carts lined up here, ready for pickup for people. All the golf carts do have charging on board, so we're able to charge our golf cart, because we're here for 2 weeks. They told us that the golf carts are good for about 2 hours on a continuously driving around the campground. So we can just plug our golf cart back in when we're at our campsite. When you're looking at where we came in when we checked in the camp at Fort Wilderness, over here to the right is where you park your golf cart to return it. And then they've got a little cute, I drove right past it. They got a little drop box for the keys over here, and they just check them in. And then I might be dropping my golf cart off a day early if I leave out, maybe in the evening. And they said that they would just reimburse me the extra day that I originally planned on having a golf cart. We were here for Labor Day, and man, it was like golf cart rally down here. I mean, so you can bring your own golf cart. We tow a car, so it's not real convenient for us to be able to tow a car and a golf cart, and we just don't use a golf cart enough to really justify owning a golf cart. But there's definitely, I mean, we've seen some really cool golf carts too. I'll have to see if I can find some in the park. I mean, some of the golf carts are dressed up like Lightning McQueen. We saw Tow Mater. We've seen, of course, with it getting close to Halloween, a lot of people have their golf carts decorated for Halloween. So if you like doing a lot of that things, I definitely recommend. I brought some lights to put on our golf cart for my kid. He enjoyed turning lights on the golf cart. But I mean, definitely, if you like decorating and getting into the festivities, I mean, come down and deck out. Even if you're renting a golf cart, feel free to deck them out if you're going to be here for a little bit and then staying in the campground. So we're looking at where we checked in over here when we first came into the campground, and we're turning around. And of course, when I came in, we were a little bit early and our site wasn't ready. I got a bunch of traffic here. I'm going to try to shoot up between these two cars. So our site wasn't ready, so we had to go to the overflow parking. So right here to your right, they've got a bunch of parking. You know, if you're staying in a cabin, you can just park your car. We were able, I don't know if you can see yet in the distance there, but we came all the way down here to the end, and we were able to park our motorhome with our tow car behind it. And they get your phone number, and they sent us a text message and an email. I mean, Disney does everything right. I mean, there's no lack of communication and customer service on their end by any means. But yeah, we just came down here at the end of the overflow parking, and I mean, we got here at like 9:30, 11 o'clock at the latest. By the time we shuffled around and with our kid and stuff, I mean, they had a site ready for us. You can see some people have got some trailers parked down here where they've either towed in cars. You can see this guy's golf cart set up. So I just turned out of where we parked for overflow parking. Over here to my left is the check-in coming in. Of course, your bus pickup at the outpost. And then right here to the right is the Triple D Ranch. And that's where you can do trail rides. All the horses for the Disney parks are housed at Fort Wilderness Campground at the ranches. Right here to the left, they've got a nice directory. So straight ahead is the check-in, like I talked about when we first came in, and then right here to my right is the outpost. That is where it's Fort Wilderness Transportation. That is where you pick up buses to go to every park and anywhere else on Disney property that is not Magic Kingdom. As you can see over there, there's a bunch of golf carts parked. So one of the things about having a golf cart or bicycle or another means to get around on the property is there is hardly no parking at Fort Wilderness for cars. Like at the trading posts in the stores and the pool and the bus pickups and drop-offs, there's no car parking. There's only bicycle places to chain up your bicycle or a place to park your golf cart. So I mean, that's kind of one of the big advantages to bringing a golf cart, is there's a lot more places to park those. So if you see if I cannot bust my rear end over here. So like all the mornings, like we're going to Animal Kingdom this morning. Let's see. We'll drive over here. So that's the outpost in the distance where we'll wait for a bus, and then we'll drive our golf cart down here and we'll park it. I'm definitely gonna not be surprised if I eat it on this ground on my one wheel. But yeah, so we'll bring our golf cart down here, we'll park it. We usually try to find a nice shady spot underneath a tree. You can see all the horses over there. All the nice people waiting on their bus. But you can see there's some people that they're getting ready to do a trail ride. Yeah, I can definitely say without a doubt, do not bring your car and think that you're going to use your car to get around the campground. That's not feasible. You're going to need a golf cart, a bicycle, an e-bike. I'm on a one wheel right now. I've seen electric scooters, but you're going to need another means to get around the park. Or if you just like to walk really far. I mean, I'm a fit person and I like to walk, but it is far. I rode my one wheel the other day around like a quarter of the campground and did like 9 miles. So I mean, stuff is pretty spread out. So we're looking back towards the check-in, and so coming straight back is the road that takes you into the campground. There's the only way into the campground. So you head back the main road. There's a squirrel. I would do my lovely Snow White, like, ah. It actually wasn't that bad. My wife does a much better version for our kid to summon all the creatures of nature. So the first turn to your left is loops 2200 to 2800, and of course the wilderness pool. I'll show you the wilderness pool, but the wilderness pool is it's a basic pool, hot tub. Great, and I'm sure they do that on purpose so that there's a lot less kiddos and a more relaxing pool area for the adults. Not that it's adult only, but it just doesn't have a lot of the stuff that attracts the kids, like the splash pad and the slide that they have over at the Meadows. But you can see back here through the woods, I mean, this is the cabin area on the left when you first come into the campground. We'll go through this loop just so you can kind of see. And I actually have stayed in one of these cabins. Oh man, I'm trying to use my brain here to think how far back that would have been. Probably like in 1997 is when I stayed in one of the cabins. One cool fact about the campground is that the campground and these facilities here were originally what were used to house all the workers that built Disney back in the day. So kind of neat, just a little history about the campground itself. Because proximity-wise, we're really close to Magic Kingdom. But yeah, you can see all the... And most of the campground is fairly wooded, so that's super nice too. Oh, here comes a girl on a scooter. I was actually curious how scooter friendly Fort Wilderness would be, because some of the campgrounds have started to lock down a lot of electric vehicles and stuff. But they seem pretty open about everything, other than driving your car around, which is actually super nice. I mean, it's nice not to have a lot of car traffic all the time, other than the few people that are leaving the park and coming back. Like, we've left twice since we've been here. Once was to go to a wakeboarding shop, because there's a massive wakeboarding shop in Orlando. And then we went to a grocery store and some other stuff. But other than that, we've just really enjoyed hanging out at Fort Wilderness. I mean, there's a lot of people. I was surprised. There's a lot of people that stay here. They don't even go to the parks. They just come to camp at Fort Wilderness Campground because the prices are actually pretty reasonable, and they've got a really nice pool, and you can ride your golf cart around, and they've got bike trails, and I mean, there's just a lot to do just in general if you like to go camping. So up on the left here, I'll point out that they do have bus stops throughout the campground, and there's quite a few. And there's kind of like two bus systems while you're at Fort Wilderness. There's a bus system that's internal to the campground. So there are buses that you can jump on and off of to get like from your campsite to closer to the pool, not right at the pool, but closer to the pool, or to the front. Like the perfect example is like to get to Magic Kingdom, you go to the settlement, which is in the back of the campground by the lake. Well, if we park hopped from Magic Kingdom over to Epcot, when we grab the Epcot bus, it brings us back to the outpost up front, which means our golf cart is in the back, which is miles. It's not close by. So then what we do is we'll grab one of the internal buses, and there's an orange, a purple, and we haven't used the buses a lot internally. We have a golf cart, but we just grab one of the internal buses, which one goes down the middle, one goes around the out to the left, out to the right. They all basically go to the settlement, so it doesn't matter which bus we get on, because all we're trying to do, here comes one of those buses right now. It's the Outpost Purple. So we'll basically we just want to ride to the back of the park to get to our golf cart. Now that only happens on the days that we go to Magic Kingdom in the morning, park hop, and come back to Fort Wilderness from a different resort or a different theme park. Here's what the Wilderness swimming pool looks like. Just a big pool, you got a hot tub. You got a little laundry station right here. I'll do some one-wheeling here. So the sidewalks and the paths throughout the campground are, bike and walking, running. I've seen people running in the morning when it's cooler throughout the park. So I mean, there's tons of friendly biking for kids. I mean, you could just ride all day, and it's a really nice park. I mean, it's wooded. There's areas that are neater than others, and of course, people have decorated, whether it be for Halloween or just Disney in general. This is a good example of just how beautiful this campground is. Like winding sidewalks. I'll be honest, I'm not 100% sure where I've ended up at. I'll figure it out. So I found my way. They have these handy signs throughout the park. So I'm gonna head towards the meadows. They do have playgrounds and basketball courts and tetherball and volleyball stuff kind of spread out throughout the campground. There's an example of that sign I was telling you about, no cars, meadow cart parking. So they've got very limited parking for cars. So this is the Meadows trading post. And there is some car parking, don't get me wrong. But I mean, there is 1, 2, 3, 4. So I'm riding along the front of the Meadows trading post. It's the largest of the trading posts in the campground. They do sell ice here. It's a 16-pound bag. As of today, this is September of 2022, $275, which I thought was very reasonable. The problem that we have a soft-sided Hydro Flask cooler But the problem I've been running into is if we want it, a lot of times if you're in a resort, you get like early entry. And the problem I've been running into is getting ice for my cooler. And so, which there's actually, I'll show you later, there's some places you can get ice by using your credit card at like a vending type machine, and it's $2 for like 7 pounds. But they've got frozen pizzas and burgers and kind of your basic food stuff, milk, macaroni and cheese, some more stuff. But I will show you a different way to get ice, because a lot of times if you're staying in, like I said, if you're staying in the resorts or you have some kind of special ticket access or blah, 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 you know, you can get it. There's early admittance for some of the people into the parks. So sometimes you can go into the park as early as 7:30 and that place doesn't open until 8:30. And so it's not really that much help if you're looking for. So I'm alongside the Meadows trading post here, and they've got back here where you can rent canoes, you can get fishing gear. Apparently fishing in the lake is awesome because it's catch and release, and so it's just overstocked. It's way overstocked, so catching fish. There's a bike barn if you want to rent bikes. They've got an area back there, we'll go back there, but you can watch, they do show movies at nighttime. So I'm going across this bridge, and then right behind the Meadows trading post is that's the splash pad. This is the swimming pool at the Meadows. I'm trying to get this video done before it gets too crowded. I don't want to be in people's way when they're trying to enjoy their vacation. But yeah, you got this massive, you can see why this is the popular area. This is right in the middle of the campground at this point, more or less. So you got the Meadows. Meadows swimming pool. And then you got the big main pool. They're out there skimming it right now. It's got a big water slide. It's got concessions, restrooms. I mean, we've definitely hung out here with our Flint and my son, and he loves it. I mean, go back and forth between the splash pad and the pool. It's nice when it rains real hard for an afternoon, because then the next day it cools, because the pool can get a little warm. We're in Florida, so it cools the pool down a little bit, but the splash pad's super nice. When we've been out here, they'll have like a Disney cast member doing activities with kids. You know, competitions, water balloon contests, not to bust your balloon and toss it and roll it, and trivia and all kinds of fun activities for the kids. You know, a reminder, there is, like, once again, there is no convenient car parking for this major swimming area and splash pad. You know, we basically would drive our golf cart down through here. You know, they got a place for you to chain up your bicycle. But you basically take this cart path, and they've got parking lots for golf carts. Shuffleboard over here to the right, and then you can see the cart parking back there. Looks like they're getting ready to do a Segway tour. Looks like they start off with teaching you kind of how to ride one first. That's pretty cool. They do a lot of activity. I mean, there's a lot of activities I don't even know about. Somebody told me there's an activity where you can like build your own like keepsake wooden painted thing, you know, like paint to decorate a big piece of round wood, like, you know, Fort Wilderness. They have stencils and all that kind of stuff. They do campfires out here. This is that area where you can come and watch a movie at night with everybody. Obviously showing some form of a Disney movie. They've got a screen and stuff up there. I'm still in the Meadows area. This is the bike barn. People checking in, I'm assuming, for a Segway tour. They've also, over here by the Meadows pool, they've got tennis courts as well. There is no shortage of stuff to do at Fort Wilderness Campground. So you can see why the Meadows premium camping is it's the highest level as far as like expense, as far as camping. But it's not necessarily that the site's a lot better. It's just, location. I mean, for your kids and whoever, I mean, you are right smack in the middle of where the major pool is, the bike barn, the movies, the tennis courts, the main trading post. So, you know, the Meadows Premium Camping area is definitely, it's just all about location. So here's bus stop 900 and 1000. That is directly across from the Meadows trading post. And of course the pool is right behind, the Meadows pool is right behind that. So I'm actually going to ride my one wheel around the loop that's right behind that stop right across. So this is a loop that's right across from the Meadows trading post and the pool. And I'm in preferred, and even we have like a basketball court and stuff, but like I'm going through this loop here. This is gonna be Meadows Premium. You know, you've got a basketball court, you've got tetherball. All the sites are paved. They are, you know, everything's full hookup. My site's full hookup too. I mean, everything's full hookup with the exception of tent and pop-up camping. See, they've decorated for Halloween. They got their little Disney sign out there. You can definitely tell there's some people that come to Fort Wilderness that maybe live locally that camp here all the time. You've got trash receptacles throughout every campground. They empty it constantly. I've never had an issue throwing away trash. So this being the most expensive camping loop, you know, keep that in mind because of location. You know, we'll all go through the loop where I'm at, and you know, you notice the camping itself isn't a lot different. The site's maybe a little bit smaller compared to this area, but it's really just about the location. While I'm over here, this is one of the comfort stations. So you've got bathrooms, showers, laundry, which these are all throughout the park. We did laundry the other day. But if you're going early to the park and you need ice, there's your machine right there. Because the trading post isn't open till 8:30. So what I learned was on their ice machines, you basically put your credit card over there. I tap mine for the touch, you know, the non-swipe, or you can swipe it. But go ahead and have I just stuck my soft-sided cooler up there underneath that spout, because as soon as you swipe that credit card, it processes it. It starts dumping ice. There is no like start button, fill my bag, and nothing like that. I mean, it just starts dumping ice pretty quickly. And then I saw on another person's YouTube video, and I would give them a shout out, but I have no idea. They do have bags over here. They said, of course, I was filling my cooler directly because I didn't want to waste plastic. But they said that they had 2 bags because this would dump more ice than what the bag could hold. You know, if it was supposed to dump 7 pounds, it was dumping more like 9. And so they would grab 2 bags, swipe a card, have one person ready with the bag, and then the other person ready with the other bag to switch them out because it just keeps dumping that ice. Once again, I went straight into my cooler just to save on the plastic from the landfill. But this is super handy because this is 24/7, and that way if you want to, you know, cooler up your ice for that cooler code Coke or Gatorade or water, you can, you know, because you can take a cooler into the park. So we have we're using a small soft-sided, I've got a Yeti cooler, but I've got this, my wife bought this soft-sided Hydro Flask cooler, and it slides right up underneath our stroller, which is perfect. But that way you know where to get your ice, because that's definitely something that we had to. So I'll take a quick stroll through the 2000 loop. It's one of the 2 tent and pop-up areas only. And it rained really hard last night. but it looks like everybody did pretty well. All the tent and pop-up sites have water and electric only. One thing I have noticed is there's quite a few tents and stuff, but there's definitely a few people that have brought like their Class B vans in here as well. So I guess Disney must be okay with that. I would definitely ask in advance though. It's a nice area, the campground. DIY van here. I got a tarp city over here, pretty smart, especially with all the rain last night. Curious question would be, is it easier to get a tent or pop-up site than it is to get like your normal full hookup RV premium or meta preferred site? I feel like no matter what you're trying to do here at Fort Wilderness, it's probably, you got to plan ahead for sure. Comfort station here, restaurants and stuff right across from site 2063. Yeah. All right, and back to the entrance to the 2000 loop. A helpful tip too is they like for you not to pass the park buses when you're on your golf cart, your car, just because people are loading and unloading off of the buses. If you're on a golf cart and you've got, our golf cart goes 14 miles an hour, probably top speed. The park speed limit's 20 miles an hour. They're okay with you pulling over in the grass to let faster traffic pass. I mean, I even had a bicyclist that was behind on my golf cart. I could tell he had a lot more energy left in him, so I pulled over, let him pass me on the road. But yeah, and even in opposite directions. So if I was on my golf cart going forward straight now, and there was a bus parked, I would stop and let that bus finish loading and unloading before I would pass it. So now we're on the cart path headed back to the settlement and then the dock area. That is actually the back side of my motorhome over there. We are in a preferred site. But this is the car. Our little location is not bad at all. I mean, it's a decent golf cart ride over to the pool, but I mean, nothing that's unmanageable. It's a quick ride up to the front to the outpost to catch buses to some of the other theme parks. Back here in the back, they've got the other trading post. Pretty much a lot of the same things that they're up at the Meadows trading post. This is the settlement trading post. They may have like a little bit more at the settlement trading, or at the Meadows trading post, but this still had a lot. I don't see ice machines outside. And this trading post doesn't open until 11 a.m. The other trading post opened at 8:30. Ooh, I was gonna tell you guys. So down here, oh man, we got, like, our timing is impeccable. So down here, you can see the boat that goes back and forth, or one of the boats that goes back and forth between Magic Kingdom. So you can take that little boat back and forth between Magic Kingdom. It's a quick little ride. We did that the other night when we did Mickey's Spooktacular event, where you're in the park from like 4 to midnight, and they do trick-or-treating. You can rent boats at Disney and go out and fish. They've got, of course, pontoon boats, bass boats, and you can actually see a couple guys. See if I can zoom in on them here. You can see a couple guys back there actually fishing. I can see another boat out there across the lake. And then in that direction over there is Magic Kingdom. I can even see a small sliver of the monorail over there. But yeah, this is the dock area, the marina here at Fort Wilderness. So the marina is right behind me. And of course the rentals and stuff. So you come, welcome to Fort Wilderness. So you come off the marina and you've got the Settlement Trading Post. You've got the Trails Inn Restaurant, the Crockett Tavern, the Wilderness. There's an arcade over here. And then you've got bus transportation in the back, or well, not in the back, really up towards the front, or the kind of main road of the campground is. Another cool thing while we've been here, and of course I would check their schedules and what they're doing, but they have a food truck roundup here Tuesdays and Wednesday nights where they bring in like 4 or 5 food trucks. So if you want to come and grab some food for dinner, I thought we wanted to do it. Just between other stuff, we had schedules and other dinners we were doing. We went to Disney Springs last night and did the T-Rex dinner. Our kid loves dinosaurs. We did Chef Mickey's one morning for breakfast. I highly recommend that for sure if you want to see the Fab 5 characters, Mickey, Daisy. Oh, not Daisy. Mickey. I think Daisy should be one of the Fab 6, but Mickey, Goofy, Pluto, Minnie, and Mickey, Pluto, Donald, Pluto, Goofy. Yeah, those characters. It was awesome. My kid absolutely loved it. I didn't know. My kid's 3. I didn't know if he'd get that excited about like Disney characters. I mean, he liked watching Disney stuff, but I don't know. It was magical. It was awesome. But yeah, Pioneer Hall. They'll open up a little bar here area at night, so you can get drinks and cocktails. Of course, they've got food and stuff up here. They did a buffet at one time. I'm sure it's more of COVID passes by for a longer period of time. They'll probably bring that buffet. It was one of their more popular dining options here. Was a buffet back here at Pioneer Hall. Boy, I'm struggling. I try to do these videos early so that I can do it with less people around, and of course, enjoy the rest of my day. They've got a big playground back here. Of course, they've got this one marked off for some reason. I'm not sure. One thing we did find with the playgrounds, Florida, and it's even September, is like that's in the sun. Right now it's in the shade, but like in the middle of the day, it's just too hot. It's too hot to go. The plastic's hot. It's just too hot to go to playground in the middle of the day. It's just they're not shaded real well throughout the park. If you're taking transportation over to Wilderness, I'm sorry, boy, I'm really losing it now. If you're taking transportation over to Magic Kingdom, there's a massive parking lot here where you can park your golf cart. Once again, no cars. They've even got places, some of the places you park, there's select spots too, where you can actually plug in and charge your golf cart while you're gone for the day. You just gotta look for the little post. We've been here 2 weeks. We've had no issues keeping our golf cart charged up. So right here to my right is Pioneer Hall, Trails Inn Restaurant back there. They do breakfast. And then of course the golf cart parking for the settlement was behind me, and so we walk up here, and this is where you would catch buses for Magic Kingdom and Magic Kingdom only, and then internal buses for the campground. So yellow, purple, orange lines or whatever they are that take you back to your campsites. They take you back to your campsites or the front of the out. Like in our case, if we, depending on what park we started at and hopped at, we would jump on one of those buses and take us to the front of the campground to where we have our golf cart parked at the outpost. There you go. There's that banner for the food truck roundup. Tuesdays and Wednesdays from 5:30 to 9:30. So, Loop 101, 237, Baytree Lane. This is where we are camped, which is the closest camping loop to the settlement and the marina. So we have a bathroom and stuff over here. We do not have an ice machine over here, but there is one across the street. But there is laundry that we've used here. We've got a basketball court. Some over here in the 200 loop. They've got Ursula out here, and Mickey. There really isn't like terrible sites at Disney. I mean, they're all really nice sites. I mean, I really, because you really don't book a particular site number, you just the type of site that you want, right? The only thing that I've seen that I wouldn't maybe care for too much would be some of the sites that just are surrounded by swampy water. We went over to one site because we saw a raccoon climbing in a tree, and we were showing our kid, and it just like mosquitoes immediately started attacking us. I haven't had mosquito issues at our site, grilling and all that kind of stuff. So that might be if I came back, that'd be like the one question I'd ask, like, hey, I want a Meadows Premium, but can I please not be surrounded by swamp water? Somewhere a little drier. So that was the 200 loop, and then I'm over here in the 100 loop. All right, so we're starting our way through the 100 loop. We got this super sweet Airstream over here. I mean, even though the sites majority are bigger in the premium versus the preferred, these are still pretty good sized sites. I mean, there's still some fairly large units back in here. Some of these guys, and actually there's a massive fifth wheel over here. This guy came in last night. Thing was a beast. Another cool thing too. So here's a path. You just can pedestrian traffic, no golf carts, but carriage rides. So they have carriage rides. So we've often seen people on carriage rides throughout the campground, like passing our motorhome and stuff. There's that big fifth wheel I was talking about that came in last night. There's actually a couple little cabins over here in our loop. There's my motorhome. Oh, I got my bay back there open. But yeah, there's our motorhome. The only thing I don't like about our site, I wish it was a little bit more shaded, just because my AC's having to work to death all day long. But I mean, overall, it's been fine. But yeah, we've got our tow car parked out here. You've even got electric out here on your post with your number on it. I've got our golf cart parked back in here. My awning out over top of it to keep the rain in, because it rains in Florida every day around afternoon. It rains, so it keeps my golf cart dry. I've got the stroller strapped on there, so it's worked out real well. We even have a grill in the back, so I've grilled burgers a few times, and an aluminum picnic table. Right across from our site, They've got trash, glass, and recycling, which is super nice. And like I said, they've kept that emptied. I've never had a problem throwing anything away. Once again, my name is Kyle Koberline, a truck and RV sales professional at Bluegrass International Trucks, Buses, RVs, and Ideal Lease. And I can't thank you enough for checking out another one of my videos. My videos tend to be on the little bit longer side, but I like to, there's lots of videos out there on YouTube and different media platforms. And I focus on more detail. There's people out there that appreciate my videos, even though they may take a little longer to watch, but they do cover a lot. Disney offers a lot, so I'm sure I missed some stuff, but at least you kind of have a basic idea of how the park is laid out, things that I've noticed and what's available here at the park. If there's anything I can help with, obviously let me know. Disney is super helpful, so if you've got a question, don't hesitate just to call them. If there was anything out there that Disney customer service is top notch. It's been an awesome vacation and experience, and it's been nice to get away for a little bit and spend some time with my family. It's nice to wake up and see my kid and my wife all day. I know that's not the world a lot of us live in, but it's nice to get away and do that for a little bit, and we've just absolutely had a blast.